So you have these people out there who are like, well, I just don't have credit cards, and I don't have a driver's license, or I don't, they try to believe that they're off the grid, or like, oh, I just work under the table, I don't pay taxes, and like nobody knows about me. But that's not.
Those days are really coming to a close. If you wanted to be truly off the grid, the best thing for you to do would be to be married, but not have a record of that marriage in any public way, and then you could like just never work and never contribute to the world, and then you could be off the grid. But it's getting a lot harder.
So find a source of income that is from somebody else.
Yeah, never have a bank account.
Don't have a legal marriage.
But really, I mean, the truth is, if basically when I work with victims of domestic violence, that's one of the other things our organization does. And
tell me about that a little.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. So there's a group called the National Network to End Domestic Violence. They're a nonprofit, and I go in and I do training for their, I guess you would call leaders, who then work with women to disappear them into the system. So, for example, some women have such serious abuse cases and are in such dire situations, they literally need to change their social security number and change their identity without going into witness protection. Some of them do go into witness protection. Others decide to do it through NNEDV. So I've worked with those trainers who work with the women, and I've also worked with some of those women. And what I've discovered is that when you go off the grid, you lose your education, you lose your health history, you lose your family, you lose your proof of your expertise. If you were a physician, you lose your license. And if you don't lose those things, you have to crosswalk them to your new social security number. And then it's like, why bother?
Anybody who's even just changed their name knows the weird little problems that you run into, right? And that's just a really high level version of that horror story you're talking about.
And the truth is that it has become increasingly difficult for anyone to truly live off the grid. So we're really in the last phases of it. We have a little bit of that left. You can still pay cash for things by and large, but that's actually getting to be more difficult.
Yeah.
Some places won't take cash anymore.
We still thankfully have Mississippi Records right here in Portland, cash only.
Yeah.
A handful of bars in town only allow cash. So.
Yeah.
But that's going away.
Yeah, and good luck if you try to buy a plane ticket using cash. I mean, if you would like to get like quadruple screening, all you have to do is pay cash in the wrong places.
Try to not be traceable, right?
Right, and some of this is traced back to 9/11 because the Patriot Act, Patriot 1, has a know your customer requirement. So actually, it's for financial institutions and other institutions. They have a legal requirement to know who their customers are, which is it is exactly antagonistic to having any obscurity. So in short, we are in the last stages. I say maybe we have 10 years or less of obscurity, privacy by obscurity. So that's why we're working so hard to try to get best practices and guidelines in place.
Privacy by design within the construct of today's world. Right.
And there's a lot of companies that are trying to do the right thing and want to do the right thing, and there's people within the government who want to do the right thing. So you just have to find everyone who's trying to do the right things and trying to take steps forward and just work, not fearmonger, but really work hard for solutions. That's where we are. We need solutions.
So the last thing I want to do really quickly is I'm listening to this interview and I want one action item that I should accomplish today in terms of, improving my privacy.
If you as a person want to improve your privacy, the number one thing I would say for you to do is opt out of financial information sharing.
Okay. So make phone calls to my credit card companies?
Nope.
Or how am I doing that?
All you have to do is there's one, I think it's called 800-555 opt-out. I don't have the number memorized.
So do a search on opt out of financial data sharing.
Oh, that's
or
hard. That's a
something.
hard search. Actually,
What
you
would
can
I
go
do?
to worldprivacyforum.org,
Okay, worldprivacyforum.org.
top 10 opt-outs.
Okay, right on.
And then
Cool.
those top 10 opt-outs are the
Well,
most important thing.
That should be the action item. Go to worldprivacyforum.org and opt your heart out, right?
Top 10 opt-outs. But what that does is it stops what's called your credit header information from being sold all over the place. And it really stops predatory ads and predatory marketing. So that's really helpful. So if let's say you're looking to get an auto loan or buy a house or really send your kids to school, any school from K through 12 or further, you want to get the best offers, not just the predatory offers. So you want to get out of that and then you go find your own. Otherwise, your information is just really circulating. It's a source of a lot of heartache.
Well, thank you so much for all this awesome information. You're just such a font of knowledge, and thank you so much for joining us on The Credentialed, Pam.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.